For us, the project has been a journey of appreciation and learning about the community and developing so much more respect for our larger city. And I want to thank you for helping us go through that process. We encourage interpretation and reflection of this collection of works. Each story is just a snapshot. There's so much more behind every author and artist. Now I'd like to introduce Jim Worsham from Long Beach Community Foundation, who helped make this project possible.
Well, I might be one of the few people in the room here who's actually had a chance to read the whole book, and it's really exciting. It gives you a flavor for North Long Beach, and I think as you have a chance to go through it, you'll see how your story and somebody else's story and still somebody else's story builds an overall picture of North Long Beach that most people can't appreciate. When I was in college, I actually lived in North Long Beach, and I remember a lot of the exciting businesses that were thriving up there at the time. As you hear these stories tonight, I want you to know that every one of them came from somebody's heart, and all together they paint a picture of North Long Beach that most people really can't appreciate until they see them all together like this.
The piece is called War Stories. Growing up, I remember hearing Mother tell stories about an artillery shell exploding on Long Beach Boulevard as a result of a supposed air raid during World War II. While doing genealogical research in a local newspaper, I found a published report of the incident. According to the Long Beach Argus, the anti-aircraft batteries were firing during a blackout, and a shell exploded on the intersection of Long Beach Boulevard and Market Street on February 25, 1942. Damage was done to the surrounding buildings, and pieces of the casing were found 2 blocks away.
I was born in that house on August 7, 1925. The street was gravel. There were no sidewalks or curbs. Parker's grocery store was located on 59th Street in back of our house. We bought Campbell's soup there, 2 cans for $1. Osgood was about 2 blocks long in those days. At the west end was a grove of cottonwood trees. Beyond that there was a huge vegetable field cultivated by the Japanese, and beyond that the Los Angeles River where we used to play.
My story's on page 37. It's called Something Fishy. North Long Beach once boasted such commercial icons as Shady Acres Miniature Golf, Lou's Bookstore, the Mustard Seed and Mexico City restaurants, Cole's Market, and the legendary Dooley's Hardware. These venerable establishments are all gone now, victims of an evolution of sorts. You might think that the North Towners would just give up. Not so. A hardy survival spirit thrives. However, the people of North Long Beach have always thought some of the city's tax money should be spent to improve their area, but despite asking, even begging, for help from the City Hall, the neighborhood has been ignored for decades. The only spending urgency Long Beach has is constant makeovers of its downtown. As a result, North Long Beach is left with blight, empty stores, crumbling streets, broken windows, and broken promises. In the late 1950s, Councilman Charles Dooley pointed out the failed rationale of spending so much money downtown and pressed for investment in North Long Beach. Think of it this way. If you were to put the point of a compass on a map at the intersection of Ocean Boulevard and Pine Avenue and draw a circle with a 10-mile radius, the circle would encompass mostly water and lots of fish. The simple logic of shifting the priority to North Long Beach is often expressed in the mantra, "Fish don't shop." Yet Long Beach continues to invest millions of dollars in an attempt to reincarnate a dead downtown, while the patient folks in North Long Beach continue to make do with chump change and crumbs. City leadership went so far as to build a huge aquarium downtown to solve the problem. It's just full of fish. But to this day, 50 years after Dewey's pleadings, not one of those fish has bought anything.
Unlike the last 3 high schools built in Long Beach that were completed before classes started, Jordan's first 10th grade class met in the North Long Beach YMCA on Myrtle Avenue in 1933. This was during the Depression, right after the big 1933 Long Beach earthquake, and like the jackrabbits in the fields around Poly High School, a big black cat living on campus inspired the Panthers of Jordan High School for a mascot. By 1936, Jordan had moved on campus and celebrated its first graduation class. The campus was bungalows, plank sidewalks, and mud. It continued to grow through the years as permanent buildings were added. Approximately 18 years later, after World War II, the gymnasium was completed. The basketball team and the PE classes finally had their own gym to practice in. The auditorium was finished in 1952 and was the best in Long Beach at that time. The Long Beach Civic Light Opera used it for their performances while the downtown auditorium was being rebuilt.
What a great crowd. You guys give yourselves an applause. I mean, this is wonderful. Thank you, Ryan. Rachel? Well, I get to talk about my house, which is the first landmark in North Long Beach, which is a lot of fun. And if you feel like you want to come by, just stop on by any afternoon on Mondays between 3 and 5, and we'll come on in and we'll feed you. The Long Beach Darien Creamery, circa 1903, was one of several major dairies at the turn of the century, when North Long Beach was consisting of rich, fertile farm and pasture land. The Long Beach Darien Creamery moved from this location to 4th Street into the downtown area in 1910 and 1911, leaving the home behind.
These smaller folks, they've been doing great things. Ever since I met Ryan a few years ago, I was able to be part of the first book they did. And then Rachel just been doing tremendous projects in this city. They find unique ways to
there's so much.
You've got the rhetoric going here.
Oh, now I feel all self-conscious.
No, I mean,
well, there's a lot of stories that go untold, and there are many sides to a story. Like a community is like a well-cut gem. There are so many facets, and everyone gives a different perspective and a different light. And to see more of those, even if just for a moment, just for a snapshot, for 300 words in the book, that was our word limit for each story, you get a much richer sense of what the community is like and the people and what it's like at that time. And so to create something like that is a very rewarding experience. It feels good to help preserve, to lock in those voices, because everybody wants to have the opportunity to say what they want to say.
But I'm not.
What did you get out of it, Ryan?
A lot. It's such a great thing because there are all these stories that we've heard. We heard stories from people in their 80s, from people that are 7 years old, and those stories wouldn't necessarily be left behind and part of our record without this book. And so it's helped do that, and we've learned a lot about our neighbors and what they've done, and it's really exciting.